Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. James here as ever for today's video all about what is the best combination to take two ACCA exam papers at the same time. If this is the first time you've been to my YouTube channel, where have you been? Oh, you're missing out on fabulous content, but my name is James. I'm an ACCA qualified member from the UK, and on my channel I help out ACCA students around the world with any queries they have. And with every video, I dedicate them to my loyal and lovely subscribers, and today is no different. So, Shahud, I know you're out there. Thank you so much for leaving me a comment at the bottom with the request for the video. And as you can see down here, Shahud's put, please make a video on what the best combination of two papers to choose for an attempt of ACCA papers on there, James. Shahud, I have got you covered. I'm going to go through what my actual optimal sort of setup would be if I was in your shoes, with a few examples, with my insights as well. So make sure you've got your pen and paper at the ready. And if you've got any questions as we go through the video, make sure you leave me a comment at the bottom because I will answer them all. If this is the first time you visited my channel, make sure you subscribe as well. The button will be at the bottom so you get access to all of my free videos and insights to help you complete your ACCA journey. And if you have found the video helpful, along with the insights, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and like below so more ACCA students can see my free content. That's the main thing. What I've also done for you as well is we're going to be going through and talking about all the examinations. I've left in the description to this video below all of the links that I recommend for study texts that are all up to date and from actual approved providers as well. So all down there for you, the ball's in your court. I'm just going to walk and talk you through the best sort of combinations that I'd be looking at. I'm going to go through it from my perspective and then try and orientate it to a bit more variable things such that you could apply to your situation, because I pick different options compared to you. So that is what we'll go on to later on. But before we get kicked off, what I've done for you, so you get a bit of an insight into the actual exams. I mean, I don't know how far you are into your ACCA journey, but as you can see up here, what I've done for you is I've put the breakdown of all of the examinations, starting with the applied knowledge exams up at the top. So business technology, management accounting, financial accounting. We'll be going through these one by one, what the best combinations are. And then we've got law, performance management, tax, financial reporting, audit and assurance, financial management. You've got the abbreviations up there as well. You've got SBR and SBL with the strategic professionals. These are essential you do. And I alluded to the options where you've got to pick 2 out of 4, where you've got advanced financial management, advanced performance management, advanced taxation, and advanced audit and assurance. So the actual percentages next to them as well, which I'll refer to in the video on top of it, are the pass rates. So in other words, for business and technology, for 85%, for every 100 students that sit the exam, 85 will pass. So it's just to give you an insight as to say which ones are harder, and as you can see as you progress through the examinations, they get harder, as you would expect on there. So it's just to give you a little flavour and insight that you may be on to your last exam in your ACCA journey, or you may just be starting and this could be one of the first videos you watch. This video will help you out, so make sure you watch all the way to the end, and if you have any ACCA friends or study buddies, make sure you send this video to them as well. Put it in your notes to do after this video, because it is definitely going to help, and these are the insights that I'd like to know if I was in your shoes now that I'm a qualified member. But to get the ball rolling, because we're looking at combinations of 2 of the exams now, ACCA currently has 4 sittings in the year. So we have March, we have June, we have September and December. Now, I'm going to assume that we're going to be doing 2 for each, which my personal preference would be you should do 1 each. But for the purpose of this video, your situation could be different. You may have to do 2. You may have different circumstances, which we'll come on to in a second. But I would like to point out on here, I would definitely not recommend doing 3 exams in one go. The only reason why I can think of why you might have to do 3 in one go is potentially for a work-study contract, or if you're being caught up by the ACCA's 7-year rule. So it could be sort of an extenuating circumstance. And I know there may be some people who've done ACCA in the past where they'll go at this point, oh, in my day, James, we had to do 3 at a time, and it was all back-to-back, day by day. Well, that's okay, that's all right. I do the videos of what parameters we have at the moment. And we have March, June, September, December. And I'm going to base it on if you've got an exam sitting, which 2 to do, the next one, which 2 to do. But I'll be going through other insights and trying to give you all of my nous and knowledge as to say, well, every ACCA student is going to have different commitments. So the first one being work, or you may actually get some study leave, or you may have some children or other personal interests. So I like running myself, which takes up a lot of time as well, and recovery on top of it. Or perhaps you might actually not have a job altogether and you're just focusing on studying at this point in your career. So whatever your situation is, this video will help. And again, as I said, if you've got any other questions, just leave me a comment at the bottom. I'll be more than happy to help. So we're going to run through it as if you are completely new. So starting on naught on there. So the first combination I would definitely say, and referring back to the exams as we went through it at the start, would be the business technology and management accounting exam. This is what most providers recommend on there, and this is what I recommend as well. It used to be on the old F papers, so it used to be F1 and F2, so just business technology, management accounting, the first two you can get stuck into, and they'd be my first combination of my first two, which I think you'd have probably actually gone for maybe as well. So yes, good mark there, James, very insightful. And it's probably no surprise, well, I say that, but then I get some people who message me on Instagram or online that they've done the first two and then they'll go on to do audit or something on those lines. But for the second combination, I'd then be going on to do financial accounting, so F3, the FA paper, along with corporate and business law. So you might be doing the global or the UK paper, but they'd be my definite combination for two, because especially the financial accounting, which we'll come on to, that links on to other papers as well. And these are the core foundations, so you might actually get some exemptions at this point, and this is where the variables after this start to change between your choices and mine. So I'm going to walk and talk you through all the different variables, and it's definitely going to help you out. But these four foundation papers at the start, the core papers I have here, that unless you've got that core foundation knowledge, then as we move on to the other papers, so financial reporting, performance management, whatever it may be, if we've really struggled on these and maybe you only just got a pass, then you may need to revisit these on top of it. And this is one of the downsides of doing two papers at a time, because as I know, I've done two papers at a time. I've passed one and I've failed another. So it's just a little consideration that maybe if you get a 50 to 55 pass, you may have just scraped through knowing some of the knowledge, or a good chunk of the knowledge, but there may be little gaps in your knowledge that could come back to back you, especially on the professional and option papers. So definitely get that noted down, that when you get onto your option papers, don't be afraid to go back and look at those notes. It's definitely going to help you out. And now at this point, once you've gone through these papers at the start, and we're looking at our third combination, you actually need to start thinking about which option papers at the end you're going to pick. So this is where you have to pick 2 out of the 4, so advanced audit and assurance, advanced taxation, advanced performance management, or advanced financial management on there. I know you're thinking, oh, that's miles away, James, but this is where we're looking at that perfect combination from start to finish. Now I'm going to base this on what I chose, and this was advanced taxation and advanced audit and assurance. So that's the P6 and the P7 exams. I've done videos on all of the ACCA exams, so after this video, make sure you go check them out, because they're definitely going to help for my insights. But it's just to make sure you're aware that there is no right or wrong way. This is the point of the video, that you're going to get a perfect situation if you've got those two options. But I'm going to walk and talk you through the other variables that will help you out to get that best combination to help you. And these will be the insights that could help you decide and could make that difference between passing the exam with that 50 plus, or really not putting yourself under unnecessary pressure, which I really hope the video will help you with. So now we're coming on to our third combination. And first of all, the first fundamental paper you have to do is the financial reporting one. And then you have to pick another option. And this is the big choice for you. So definitely financial reporting, because it follows on from financial accounting, and the financial reporting knowledge that you'll acquire also links into other applied skills and the actual strategic paper and option papers as well. So definitely something I'd say get it done straight away, because that core knowledge is definitely going to help you out. So then you've got to think, well, what is my other option going to be? And the usual questions I get of, do you pick the topic area that you work in? So you might work in audit, you might work in performance management, whatever it may be. Or do you follow the actual set format, James? So we've already done the first 4 papers, 1 to 4. So should I do performance management F5 on there? Well, okay, that is a potential option, but lots of people just go through it 1 to 9 on there. But then this is where the considerations from the option papers that you need to be bearing in mind, and it's going to affect which ones I'd be picking. But then the other thing you've got to ask yourself is there any tactical way of picking exams that would put me at an advantage? And this is one of the first things you need to get down in your notes on here after this video to go and check. So for example on here, I'd be definitely having a look at the taxation, the F6 paper, first of all. So the reason for this is there are 4 sittings throughout the year, as we said. So we've got that March, June, September and December. And the tax paper is really critical because there are different rules and rates and standards that change on there. So for example, in the UK now, the actual rules and rates and standards change, okay, after the March exam. So the June exam is the first exam out of the 4 where the new rules, rates and standards are put into play. So I'm going on the basis there, but obviously I wouldn't want anyone to fail, but it has a 50% pass rate, that if you were to fail in June, the same rates and standards and rules would still be in play in September. Versus if you did it in March, you unfortunately failed the exam, then you'd have different rates on there. So for me, if I was in your shoes, and this is based on the UK, depending on which tax paper you do, if it was in June or September, I would do the tax paper. Also with me doing the advanced tax paper later on as well, as also for the higher actual pass rate on there. So it's 50% for tax. It's going to be one of my earlier exams, but there are other exams with a lower pass rate. So to get yourself really settled in. And also on top of that, I used to have previous experience working in accounts preparation, so that would help me in financial reporting and taxation. So again, another tick where I go, that is definitely going to help me out. But on the other hand, if it was say December or even March, then I would pick an exam if I was in that situation I felt most confident with, okay? So this is just to keep the momentum going, and I'd want it so that I just go into it, again, doing 2, the standard's getting a lot higher, the financial accounting paper is a lot easier than the financial reporting. So if I didn't pick tax, I'd then go on to probably performance management on there, so that's the PM exam. So that is actually following the F5. It is really tough, but there are more management accounting terms and concepts in that module that we've previously done in the management accounting exam. So it should hopefully follow on better for you as a result. So that would be my sort of variables for you to consider. So definitely financial reporting, and then either tax or either performance management. And that would be our best third combination of 2 exams at the same time. Now, this is where we have a few more variables and a few other things to discuss. So the 4th best combination, so after you pass these, and I'm assuming we're passing with flying colours now, this is where we've got to look at the best applied skills combination to suit you on here. So if you picked taxation in the last option, logic would say to you to actually pick audit and assurance here, okay? The reason for that is lots of the carried forward knowledge that you need for audit and assurance is based on financial accounting, financial reporting, which should be still fresh to you, okay? And this is where it's worth mentioning here that the 2 papers options that you'd be doing for your final applied paper would be strategic SBR or SBL. So in other words, you're going to have to do SBR and SBL, this is on the next combination, with a final applied skills paper. So it could be financial management, audit and assurance, whatever it may be. So the key thing to get written down here in this best combination would be, well, why I should save the applied skills paper that I'm going to do the option in. So because I'm going to be doing advanced audit and assurance as one of my options, I'm going to save audit and assurance, even though I've just given you some reasons on there why you could do it right now. But again, it's completely up to you. But that is one of the reasons for it. So in other words, just to be clear here, because I'm saving audit and assurance, I'm going to do it as an option paper. I want it to be more fresh. I would be doing definitely financial management at this point, and then the other one would be either performance management or taxation, depending on either or I picked previously on there. So if I'd have previously picked taxation, I'd be now in the best 3rd combination, well, in the best 4th combination of 2 exams at the same time. I'd now be doing financial management and performance management on there. The other key thing you need to get written down, especially if you're on a working study contract now, is to check with your employer at this stage if they have any specific exams they need you to get done for work purposes, promotion purposes, or potential position moves in your actual workplace. Because lots of employers have this in their contracts, and it'd be an utter shame if you didn't do the exam that maybe meant that you didn't get that actual promotion or pay rise, anything on those lines. Plus you can actually get this into your contracts to actually lead you to getting you higher up in your career and using the examinations to your benefit. So definitely worth looking at, especially if I was in your shoes. So the best fourth combination that I'm looking at now is definitely financial management, with saving, audit and assurance, which we're coming on into in the fifth, and either performance management or tax. Either or what we had a look at before. It all depends on the dates, that was the key thing. So we're on to our fifth combination now of two ACCA exams, and it's going to be very tough. The standards are getting higher and higher now. And this is where we've got our final applied knowledge paper on here, and then we've got our first strategic paper. Okay, so considerations here that you would need to be aware of are what option papers I'm going to do. Again, I've said I'm doing advanced audit and assurance and advanced taxation. That's why I've strategically left the audit and assurance paper to last. But more specifically, I'd be actually saying to yourself, are you actually going to be doing advanced audit assurance, the P7 paper? This is really critical because SBR, audit and assurance, they follow on from one another. So if you can get better combinations with them, that is going to put you at an advantage on here. Hence why I've left audit and assurance. And when we come onto it on here for my option, I'll let you into the secret of how I'm going to do it on here. So I'm going to have the actual audit and assurance fresh in my mind because I'm going to be doing that here. But then I've got to say, well, I'm going to be doing SBR as a follow-on because SBR follows on to audit and assurance on here. So just to be clear on this one, I'd be wanting to do SBR and audit and assurance. Again, just even thinking and saying that would be very, very tough. But the reason for that is to get the SBR knowledge in my mind, focused on it. I've gone through, understood all the core concepts. So for the next combination, I'd definitely be doing advanced audit and assurance. In other words, I've done audit and assurance now with SBR to then move on to advanced audit and assurance. So the knowledge should progress, and then you can actually refer to those notes as well. It'd be really, really helpful on there. So as you pass on that, and to pass SBR on this, just so we're crystal clear, the standards are getting higher at this point. You need good knowledge of all of the actual applied foundation papers, including financial reporting. So make sure you get your books back out at this point. We did financial reporting a few combinations ago, but just be aware for the video. It'd be something I definitely want to know if I was in your shoes. And it's worth noting here as well that, again, for variable perspectives, that if you wanted to do, say, advanced performance management or advanced financial management, then just like I've done here, leave the performance management or financial management paper, the final applied knowledge paper, to last here as well. So it's completely up to you, but that would be my sort of way of using my strategic nouns, should we say, of actually picking them to my advantage on here. But as I've alluded to just a second ago, please, please, please be aware, write it down if you want, but there is a massive jump in the standard as we go up, especially to SBR, especially to SBL. We saw in the actual percentages at the start, they have about, give or take, 1 in 2 pass, so 50% pass rate. Really, really tough papers. You've got to nail down that exam technique, which I talk about on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you get all of my updates. The button will be at the bottom. They're definitely going to help you out, and you'll get my insights that I really wish I'd have had if I was in your shoes. As you can see, the pass rates are starting to decline now as well. The exams are getting more and more tough, and I would usually advise at this point, and in fact for most of the exams as well, to actually do them one at a time to fully understand the concepts. I've done another video on the best combination of just going through one by one, but we're doing 2 at a time now on here, so it's okay. I mean, different considerations, but it's just to be aware it's not going to be easy. When I was in your situation doing this, I did the equivalent of SBL and advanced audit and assurance together. I unfortunately failed one. I failed the audit and assurance, but passed the SBL. And honestly, It was so tough. It seemed to like take over my world of just weekends and nights and early mornings and working and study contracts. So hence there are reservations in this video, but I'm happy to help on it. Everyone has different scenarios on there. Then finally, we've got the actual sixth best combination now. So this is where we've got one last strategic paper left and then one option paper on here. And I get questions on this all the time as to say, well, why don't I just do, James, SBR and Advanced Audit Assurance together? Their syllabuses overlap. I'm applying the same sort of standards. Why wouldn't you recommend to do them both together? Well, it's the underpinning of that knowledge. That's why in the previous combination, I said you've got to do SBR there. That knowledge will then reinforce and help you along when you come to do Advanced Audit and Assurance on there. But I would argue, as I said, do that SBR first, get the knowledge in the bank, then go on to Advanced Audit and Assurance. But again, it's up to you. If you're in a situation maybe where you've got to do two, then that could be an option for you, just to make you aware. But for this example, SBR in the fifth best combinations, in the sixth one now, based upon my options left, I would be doing then SBL and Advanced Audit and Assurance, having known that I've just recently done SBR and Audit and Assurance, and I've got my financial reporting books, all things that are going to help me out. I'll have the SBR knowledge, as I said, which I've previously covered, fresh knowledge in my mind, and it should put me at a better advantage from this as well, where I tend to find not much of this information is out there, but little tweaks will definitely help you out. And all previous knowledge from the actual applied foundation papers linked to SBL. So all that core knowledge that you've generated over those two combinations, along with developing the exam technique, time management, all of this that I talk about on the channel with my exam techniques will definitely help you out. Trust me on it. It is a big step up, but that would be what I would do on there. And then finally on here, we have one option paper at the end, the seventh best combination. And then hopefully, obviously at this point, you've had no resets or anything on those lines. I'm going to point out now, it's okay to fail. I failed advanced taxation, if you'll know if you've watched my channel videos on here before, and I failed audit and assurance, advanced audit and assurance, sorry. And that was because I did two exams at the same time. And when it gets to the option papers, the scale of the actual knowledge and the detail you need to go into, I would always recommend doing one at a time on there. The other thing I'd recommend, especially for the final option on here, is pick one you are interested in. And also maybe where you actually want to work in the future. So that's why I picked advanced taxation. I was really interested in the topic area. And also the other thing to actually link into this, we touched on the pass rates at the start as well of this video. Have a look at what percentages you got in the applied papers for the actual performance management, financial management, taxation, audit and assurance. And if you've got 50, 51 and 72, well, I'd be definitely picking the advanced one of the 72, put it that way. But again, just to reiterate, the advanced taxation would be the one that would definitely help you the most in life. It keeps you up to date. And I've been to CPD events where I just think to myself, if I hadn't have done the exam and put in the time to learn that core knowledge, I'd be at a real disadvantage on there. But at this point, you'll be loving life because you've only got one exam at this stage, not doing a combination of the two. And, you know, past this all's in the bag, you know. James, you've done these perfect combinations with one at the end. It all sounds rosy-nosy. Well, it is really, really tough. And as I said, you know, I'm going on assumptions that you just want a bit of insight as to, well, if you need to do two, it can get really tough. But if you do fail an exam, honestly, it is okay. You just need to actually just break it down, understand where you went wrong, and that's why I set up the channel in the first place, to help you out with insights on here. But overall, that is my breakdown for the best combination of two ACCA papers to do at the same time from start to finish, with the variables, with the insights on there as well. But before you leave this video, there are some final considerations that you need to know about, or I wish I'd have known about, that you need to know about on here. First of all, okay, important stuff that you need to go away and check. If you are in an ACCA study contract with your employer, you need to check the details on this, okay? So this relates into what would happen if you were to fail an exam, for example, or if you failed it more than once, because there are potential implications of your employment contract getting potentially terminated, also having to potentially pay for your research yourself. Also check if you're with any tuition providers, to which I'm not associated with or anything at the time of this video recording, but some of them have pass guarantee schemes in there as well. So if you go through, do the mock papers, hit a certain percentage that I used to have to do, then even if you failed an exam going through these combinations, you wouldn't have to repay for any tuition. So definitely something to have a look at. And finally as well, with these two combinations papers, as you go through, you're going to be getting through lots of papers very quickly, and you'll be racking up quite a lot of study fees potentially on top of that as well. That if you were to leave your company, again, if you were on a study contract, you may have to pay the previous 12 months of studying fees. So if you've racked up, as we've been going through, combinations, you might have done 6 exams in 1 year, it could be, or 8, if you've got 4 sittings, 2 in each one, that is going to be a heck of a lot of money on there. So definitely something to be aware of. Just to be crystal clear, I couldn't make this video without mentioning that, because once you're doing 2 exams at the same time, you're going to be racking up those fees on there as well, and you're going to be doing a heck of a lot of studying that can put a lot of pressure on you, but it's just something so you're aware of on there. But at the end of the day, we've gone through the 13 exams, we've got the best combinations, we've planned the work, so it's up to you to go and work the plan. Obviously, different scenarios are going to be affecting you and whoever's watching this video on here, but you may just have to do 2 at one point in your life, and I really hope this video has helped as we've gone through. So if you found the insights helpful on here, make sure you give the video a massive thumbs up and like. The button will be at the bottom along with the subscribing, so that you get access to all of my free videos, all my resources, and I really hope today's video has given you some insights and a bit of help and a bit of confidence on there. So if you know anyone else who's studying ACCA, make sure you share this video with them, because you know and I know this is definitely going to help them. They've got to do the exams. And if you've got any other questions or comments or queries of videos you'd like me to do, just leave me a comment at the bottom. I answer them all, and I'm happy to help on there. That is the main thing, I would say. The final thing is, as always, just best of luck with your upcoming ACCA exams. Follow this through, work out the best combinations, and I'm sure following the videos from my experience on here, get your head down, get that studying in the bank, you are going to be fine and to pass your exams. Utilize all the free resources. That's why I set up the channel, all free on there, so make the most of them, and I really hope it all pays off. Finally, what I've done for you as well at the end of this video to help you out as a final little bonus, make sure you click one of the videos at the end here. I've left a couple of them on there. They're definitely going to help you out from my insights, and that it could be the difference between getting that 50 plus, which I know you're after. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and as always on that bombshell, I'll see you next time. Cheers!